right now. Even as you're watching this video, something inside your brain is shifting. Maybe before you clicked here, you scrolled through dozens of shorts. Maybe the very first thing you did this morning before you even fully woke up was reach for your phone. And let's be honest, are you really here with me right now? Or is your mind already leaning toward the next notification, the next reel, the next just one more hit, whether it's a video, a snack, or a quick rush of sugar? If lately you can't truly enjoy anything, if even simple tasks feel weirdly heavy, if you've even been living inside a constant mental fog, then hear this clearly. Your brain probably isn't broken. What's happening is more subtle and more common. Your reward system has been exposed to so much stimulation that it's struggling to stay balanced in the modern world's rhythm. In this video, I'm going to show you, using the fundamentals of neuroscience and behavioral psychology, how modern life quietly pulls us into a loop that looks a lot like reward addiction. And more importantly, we're going to separate the real science of dopamine detox from the viral myths. Not with dramatic challenges or trendy hacks, but with a realistic step-by-step system you can actually apply. But let us clarify something right from the start. This is not a Dan T touch your phone for a day challenge. It's not a willpower flex. This is about rebuilding balance in your brain's motivation and attention systems. Think of it as a reset, not a punishment, a restoration process, not a moral test. Now, let's begin with the biggest misunderstanding about dopamine. Most people call dopamine the pleasure chemical. You eat a slice of cake, you feel that quick burst of happiness. You win a game, you get that rush. Yes, those moments feel good. But dopamine isn't simply pleasure. In many cases, dopamine is more connected to craving, pursuit, and repetition. It's the voice in your head that says, go get it, do it again, scroll one more time, just check. Your brain's reward system exists for one reason: survival. For our ancestors, it pushed them to seek food, find shelter, track opportunities, avoid danger, and build social bonds. That inner engine that gets you moving toward something valuable, that's the system we're talking about. That drive was life-saving. But here's the problem. Your brain evolved for a world of scarcity, and you're living in a world of endless stimulation. In the past, rewards were expensive. You had to walk, wait, work, hunt, build, struggle. You didn't get dopamine for free. Today, reward is literally in your pocket, available on demand. All it takes is a thumb moving 2 inches upward. And what makes it even worse is this: the rewards are infinite. One video ends, another starts instantly. One notification fades, another appears. One craving is satisfied, then the next one arrives. Your brain is being fed high-intensity reward cues all day long. And when that happens, your nervous system doesn't just enjoy it. It adapts to protect itself. This is the most important part of the video, so stay with me. Your brain is built to seek balance. Many scientists describe this general tendency as homeostasis, a kind of internal equilibrium. Imagine your mind like a scale. On one side, pleasure and comfort. On the other side, effort, discomfort, and stress. When you expose yourself to high stimulation triggers, short videos, gaming, sugar, constant notifications, the scale drops hard toward pleasure, and your brain, trying to keep things stable, begins adding weight to the other side. Discomfort. Some researchers describe this pattern using an opponent process idea. When the brain experiences a strong high, it often produces a counter-reaction to restore balance. That's why right after the fun ends, you feel a strange emptiness, restlessness, boredom, a mild irritation you can't fully explain. Not because life is suddenly bad, because your brain is trying to level itself out. And right at that moment, your brain whispers, fix it, just one more video and you'll feel normal again. That's how the loop locks in. If this pattern repeats all day after day, something dangerous happens. Normal life stops feeling rewarding. Reading a book feels like work. Sitting down to focus feels painful. Starting a project feels impossible. Your attention breaks faster. Your motivation becomes inconsistent. Not because you're lazy, but because your brain has adjusted to high-intensity stimulation as its new baseline. This doesn't automatically mean you have a clinical addiction, but it can create something that behaves like tolerance. Your brain gradually needs more stimulation to get the same effects, just like turning the volume up again and again, until normal volume feels like silence. And eventually you stop chasing these triggers to feel happy. You chase them just to feel okay. So what's the solution? The solution is not to kill dopamine. Dopamine is not your enemy. The goal is to rebalance the reward system and rebuild your ability to focus, work, and enjoy simple things again. You're not declaring war on pleasure, you're restoring control. Most of what the internet calls dopamine detox is either oversimplified or misunderstood. So let's build a realistic framework that matches the science and respects real life. A 3-phase protocol. Phase 1, 24 hours of silence, radical reset. This is optional but powerful. And it works because it sends your brain one clear message: high stimulation is not available today. Find your internal baseline for one day. Try to minimize these as much as possible. Your phone and social media, especially short-form endless scrolling, games, binge-watching, and fast entertainment loops, sugar and heavily processed snacks, constant background stimulation like non-stop musical podcasts. The point is not to sit in a dark room doing nothing. The point is to bring your brain back into a low-stimulus environment long enough for it to remember what normal feels like. So what can you do during those 24 hours? Go for long walks. Do simple chores. Write with pen and paper. Organize your space. Sit outside and let your thoughts rise. Even staring at a wall for a bit is allowed. And yes, you will get bored. But boredom is not a problem. In a world designed to eliminate boredom, boredom becomes a signal your brain hasn't heard in a long time. Sometimes boredom is the doorway to creativity, clarity, and real motivation. When the external noise goes down, your internal drive has a chance to speak again. Important note, if you're going through intense anxiety, panic, or depression, it's smarter to do a gentler version of this reset. There's nothing weak about getting support. You're not trying to suffer, you're trying to heal. Phase 2. 30 days of low-stimulus living. The real recovery, the 24-hour reset, is just the spark. The real change happens over the next month, because the brain is shaped by repetition, by patterns, by environment. Here's the main rule. Don't rely on willpower. Add friction. Don't try to fight your cravings head-on all day long. Change the system around you. Delete the apps that trap you, or hide them off your home screen. Turn off notifications. Switch your phone to grayscale. Keep your phone out of the bedroom. Charge it far away from your bed. Limit short-form content to specific times. And one of the most underrated habits of all, try not to look at your phone during the first 60 to 90 minutes after you wake up. This isn't magic, and it won't fix everything overnight. But for many people, protecting the start of the day helps stabilize attention and reduces the reward-seeking mode that can hijack the next 12 hours. Phase 3. Embrace discomfort. Train the prefrontal cortex. This is where you don't just reset, you rebuild strength. Avoiding stimulation is only step 1. Step 2 is training the brain's executive system, the part responsible for self-control, planning, decision-making, and focus. Many scientists connect this to the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that helps you choose long-term goals over short-term impulses. And you train it the same way you train a muscle, by doing hard things on purpose. Cold exposure, heavy workouts, deep work 1 full hour with no interruptions. Facing the task you keep avoiding and staying with it for 45 minutes. Sitting with discomfort instead of escaping into a screen. And here's what's powerful about this. When you complete something difficult, your brain starts placing the reward on the other side. Not the fast, cheap pleasure of scrolling, but the deepest satisfaction of progress. The kind of reward that doesn't vanish in 20 seconds. So tell yourself this. Discomfort isn't always danger. Sometimes it's growth. Now what happens after all this? You probably won't have a Hollywood awakening moment, but something more real will happen. Your normal life will return. A basic meal will taste better. A conversation will feel more present. Starting work won't feel like climbing a mountain every time. Your attention will stabilize, and your inner motivation, the fuel you thought you lost, will slowly come back online. Because the real goal isn't to destroy dopamine. The goal is to reconnect dopamine to the right targets. Modern life is designed to keep you consuming. Your attention is a product, and whoever controls your attention, controls your day, and whoever controls your day, eventually controls your future. But the moment you understand this system, the game changes. You don't have to be a leaf blown around by algorithms. You can be the captain who chooses the direction. And when you close this video, your brain will probably whisper, "Watch one more." Don't answer immediately. Just sit for 10 minutes. No phone, no music, no escape. If boredom shows up, don't run. Watch it. Because control begins right there. If you want to keep going deeper with mind-to-brain science, focus, performance, and the hidden systems shaping your behaviors, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because in the next video, I'll show you how to rebuild your attention span permanently and strengthen your focus like a skill you can train. Now I want to ask you one question. Which trap catches you the most? Endless scrolling, sugar and constant snacking, gaming, or the quiet habit of "I'll watch something to relax," and suddenly your sleep disappears? Drop your answer in the comments. I read all of them. And remember, your brain is your most powerful tool. Manage it wisely. See you in the next video.